We live. Welcome back, all you beautiful people, to that We Got Action podcast. This episode 37 coming at y'all. We're gonna do another combined episode because we just got the three of us. So theoretically, it shouldn't take the 2+ hours, but we're gonna see how we chop it up. We got I back with us this week. Danny is
What
out, working on socials, really grinding away, keeping us relevant, man. Honestly, but we're here. We're gonna be chopping it up again. Starting with NFL, we're going to talk about recap of the championship games and kind of talk about predictions for the Super Bowl. Chiefs, Eagles, exciting for some. We're going to talk about Vitor's Niners. We're going to talk about kind of what's next for them, quarterback position wise, and I'm excited for that. And then first two black quarterbacks ever to start a Super Bowl. We're going to run over that. And then there's already been a lot of coaching changes running around throughout the NFL. And the season's not even officially over yet. So we're going to chop that up too. And then NBA, talk Raptors, talk about some fringe playoff teams, best benches. And then we're going to maybe build our own dominant player. And then, talk about who's most deserving of their NBA All-Star game. First selection into the All-Star game. So anyways, with all that out the way, that's the outline right there. We're going to talk conference championships, Niners, Eagles.
It was the entire 2019 season in one game, or the 2020 season.
I swear,
the entire 2020 season.
Oh,
it was so sad. It was so sad because it was this 11-game win streak and just
12.
everything. Was it 12?
Yeah.
Everything was built up. Y'all were on this pedestal, and then it was like
Literally, like, what,
punch
second
a brick
offensive
off.
play?
And just everybody just getting fucked up, and it was fucking hilarious. I felt bad because it wasn't. I know I was telling you were getting a lot of slack from our friends, and I was like, that shit's not deserved because it's not like they didn't beat the Niners. You know what I'm saying?
It was one of those it literally after
like
the
they
first
beat
two
you guys,
drives,
but it was like they didn't beat you guys.
Yeah.
Things I think people underestimate, and I've seen it a lot. There's the meme pages are posting oh, Niners fans complaining about the drop pass that led to a touchdown. Let's just take that out. Still,
it wouldn't have
24-7.
mattered. Yeah.
Issue is momentum, and I think after both that touchdown, the play, and then Brock getting hurt, I think the team kind of deflated. McCaffrey,
the defense went wild though.
I think obviously the Eagles weren't the second half. I
think it should have been 14-10 at half.
Yep.
Josh Johnson sucks. And then after that, y'all only gave up 10 points in the second half.
One thing that at least I'm glad about this game is that people have to stop saying that Brock is any quarterback can do it. It's not, the system is quarterback friendly.
Well,
yes.
Normally when I say any quarterback, there is a slight caveat. People have been saying
nice. Zach Wilson, Baker could have come in and done the same thing Brock did. They could not have.
They both could have done better than Josh Johnson, though.
There's a chance that
one of us
could have done better than Josh Johnson.
Yes, okay, yes, because I can catch a snap.
I can catch a snap, and if I don't catch it, I can dive on top of it.
Yeah.
There's a reason he played for 14 different teams.
Yeah, I mean, he's a career backup. You think as a career backup, you'd have the experience to take a snap or get on top of it if you don't.
That fumble really was like I said, at that point, if you go into halftime 14-10, we still didn't know Brock's diagnosis yet at that point. Team morale might have gone up. The stadium might have still.
And I was
bro was throwing for 2 quarters, and then he came in there and looked like a noodle arm.
So he was running out.
I mean, now we know he's a torn UCL, but
he was running out the first drive after he got hurt.
Yeah.
And Kyle pulled him as he was on the field. He said, "No, come back." So clearly something was up, and I don't know. It's just
it was very tough to watch. I mean, kudos to the Eagles again. You can only play what's in front of you. It was another dominant running game performance. They're going to be tough to beat, man. That defense is still stout, regardless of, I think even if you guys were fully healthy, this would have been, you all would have had to work for it. It would have been a grind. I
would have preferred to lose a grind out
McCaffrey,
game.
I thought there was multiple times where McCaffrey was going to break away, and the Eagles, they pounced, bro. They pounced.
Touchdown was incredible.
Well, that was insane.
That was incredible.
That was amazing. That was the one instance where
that was a grown man touchdown. Yeah,
I am glad he is here for a few more years at least.
Yeah, no, he'll be back. He'll be back.
I'm scared.
It's very rare that a team loses 4 quarterbacks in a season.
My fear is
that shit does not happen very often.
Yeah, and typically the teams that do are sitting at the back of the
15, right?
My biggest fear is us being that team that's always there but doesn't ever get it. I fear that so much because
Well, I think you guys need a healthy quarterback. Like that's all it
yeah,
is. I think health.
It really is, yeah.
but
If
like
you
it's
had health this year,
yeah.
I think you could have did it.
But this is the healthiest year we've had, and that's except for maybe 2019 when we went to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs.
But
It's
y'all was most.
that's the scary part is
Yeah,
that we
but like
collapsed at the worst part, and hopefully that the health that we had throughout the season, minor things here and there. Bosa only missed like a game and a half. Mosley got hurt. I think that was big. I think he would have been a great player to have in this game. But we'll see what ends up. We'll talk about it a little bit more.
I mean,
go to AFC.
I was gonna say a little bit of a flash forward into the next one. Y'all gonna have to find a new DC too.
Yeah.
Because that boy's been wild since Salah left.
Yeah, I can tell you who we've interviewed / planned to interview already, but at this point, it's all a crapshoot because the reports are flying off from all around.
So we definitely can move to the AFC.
Yeah.
And does anyone else think that the referees had Chiefs money line that game?
I think the referees in general either had money on the games or
that was interesting. That was interesting, my friends.
Yeah.
It felt like, I mean, to be fair, I did still feel like they had a chance to win the game down the stretch. But I think the Chiefs defense showed up on that 2-minute drill at the end. They did call the intentional grounding, but I think it was warranted. He didn't make it back to the line of scrimmage with the ball.
There was a Mahomes intentional grounding
that was also the same thing
in the first quarter. That was not called.
But yeah, man, I mean, that just shows how good the Bengals are, how good the Chiefs are. Like, they're going to be right there. We already talked about Buffalo last week having to improve to kind of reach that level of them too, but they're definitely, in my opinion, the cream of the crop in the AFC. I mean, I loved it, man. I personally, I was rooting for the Chiefs because the Bengals took out my Bills. It was good to see Joe Shiesty lose. I ain't gonna lie. He's been getting a little too much hype, and I was kind of feeding into it because personally, even Danny said it by trying to put Joe over Pat last week.
Yeah.
And I think that was starting to creep into the media a little bit where people are like,
and I talked about this.
Joe's bet. Joe, is he passing Pat? I'm like, bro, nobody's touching Pat right now.
I talked about
and he showed it playing
with
with that.
People forget everything that happened this
I'm
year.
watching the game, and my parents are like, man, he's playing such a bad game. Pat's playing bad. I'm like, bruh's on one leg and he's already over 300 yards in the third quarter. I was like, what are you talking about? He's playing a bad game. He hasn't turned it over.
24 and they had 121 passing yards.
Yeah.
Like, it's just.
And then to cap it off with that rush at the end, that shit was wild.
Yeah, shout out to Scott Moore too, though. My
God,
that return was huge.
Huge.
I ain't gonna lie.
The amount of things
and he had some good catches throughout the game too. I mean, they were down Juju, they were down Mecole Hardman.
MVS,
Tony got hurt.
And they were down
Kadarius Toney
as well. Thank you. He tweaked his ankle at the end, and I think it might have been more than that.
Shock.
So they were basically running Kemp, Sky Moore, MVS had a banger, and then Kelsey was basically triple teamed every play. So for Pat to do what he did with basically no help, I mean, Pacheco was a dog. He's a sleeper pick next year for fantasy.
He was a sleeper pick this year.
Quick question, though.
It took a while though.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
So, we say our top two quarterbacks normally in the discussion when everybody keeps putting their rankings. It's always Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen. Do you put Joe Burrow? I don't say above Pat Mahomes, but do you put him above Josh Allen?
Yeah, we did last week.
We did.
Okay.
We all three consensus put him above Josh last week.
And it's Josh's fault. It has nothing to do with
it's for me, it's just the fact that he beat him.
Yeah.
Like, I think that game, the divisional round, was for the second best quarterback in the league. I think Jalen Hurts is making a stupid argument to be top 5, pushing top 3. Like, I mean, he's a very similar player to Josh. He has nowhere near the arm talent that Josh does. But I mean, he likes to stay in the pocket. He can run a little bit. So he's pushing Josh for that 3 spot. I think. Yeah, man. I mean, we all put him over Josh. honestly.
Okay.
And I
I
mean,
was happy to see his ass lose, though.
that's Josh's self-inflicted injuries, right? He's turning the ball over just too much to give him like. It's one thing when you're
Well,
like,
that's what I was. I mean, we
we
don't want
talked
to talk about it
like,
too much, but he's too talented. He thinks he can do everything.
And I
whereas
mean,
Joe plays within himself,
He
but
did
like
also
smarter.
have a UCL injury, probably not as bad as Brock's. Brock's apparently was clean off the bone.
Brock's is gone.
I seen it when it happened.
Brock's UCL is just.
I said the exact same thing when I saw it live before he once they took him out. I was like, it's UCL.
It looked
the
same way that Josh got. Yeah.
And Josh went out, stayed in the game. I don't know fucking how. Hey, kudos to Josh. That's why he's a dog. So, anyways, Chiefs and Eagles. Anybody predictions? Anything?
Both teams lose.
No,
no.
Eagles ready to go, baby.
Fly, Eagles,
Jalen
fly.
Hurts.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to that boy, Danny Silva, for backing out on his team. That man was riding or dying with the Chiefs all year. And when it came to the big game, he pussied out. He backed out and went with the Bengals, and they took that L. So shout out, Danny. You deserve that. But I'm going with the Eagles too. Jalen Hurts, Roll Tide. That's my boy.
Ask me again at a later time. I think the emotions are still too fresh.
Oh, well, I know you don't want you don't want Pat and them to win.
It's one of the things.
But they screwed you all so bad.
It's either way. It's not a great like. We lost the Chiefs in the 2019 season, Super Bowl. We lost the Eagles now. The thing that's really been on my nerves more is like I like Jalen Hurts. I like the Eagles. The Eagles fans, man.
Carly's my girlfriend, by the way. She did not like the Eagles. And I was trying to explain to her about Philadelphia fans.
It's just tough.
And how cutthroat they are and how high expectations they have. Like if you're not performing or you're not up to par, like they want you out.
Yeah.
Like that's why I was trying to show her. We were watching the Nets Sixers game last week, and I was like, they were booing Ben every time he touched the ball.
It was a fun game.
So I mean, I was just trying to explain that to her, but dude, they're cutthroat.
Yeah, and it's not even that.
They're cutthroat.
I get that's always been Philly sports.
100%.
You know what it is? It's like you go on the internet and you'll just see comments here and there, and you'll see people who are good fans and understand the situation of the game, and you have people who are like, Niners got daddied, and you're like, dude, they lost their quarterback. Doesn't matter.
You know, my favorite part about the Eagles though is the mindset that Jalen Hurts and Sirianni have instilled in that team. Like they don't fall in, like they know, I mean, I'm sure they know about their fans and whatnot, but they don't fall for that. Like they don't act like that. They don't carry themselves like that. They take it one game at a time. Mm-hmm. They're real focused, motivated, methodical. If the game plan is to run it, they do that. That's all they care about though.
Yeah.
Like even when it was like apparent that y'all couldn't do anything but run, they were still cracking y'all, bro. So, yeah, I really like the mindset Jalen's brought to that team. And honestly, Sirianni as well. But
shout out to Trent, though.
Hey, bro, my favorite part about that was after he chokeslammed, dude, he squared up like 5 Eagles. I was like, bro, he's going to take them all on, too. He was going to take them all on. I was like, yo, Trent. Yo, I swear. He literally, bro, he squared up and I was like, what is that? 6'9", like 350? Dude, I was like, don't touch him. I was like, whatever Eagle touches him will also get choke slammed. That shit for like Undertaker.
It was funny too, because like obviously they're at that point, like if you're an Eagles player,
that was great.
You know, you're up, game's over. Like, I don't know why that all broke out. Like
I mean, I get why he did it because dude, he wouldn't let go of Debo.
Yeah.
So then he just was like, all right, I'm done with this.
You don't see in the same sequence on the other side of it. Greenlaw's throwing gut punches.
Dre was? Oh my god,
guys!
Y'all were mad. That defense mad.
They're mad. And it's like people talk about like, oh, at the end of the day, the defense still didn't hold up. Hard to hold up when your offense goes 3-and-out or runs 4.
You were on the game for probably 3/4 of the game.
It's one of those things. Like you can't win if your offense can't at least hold the ball.
Isaac, ready? You ready for this?
What?
So Chiefs or Eagles?
Oh.
Come on, baby.
Right now, I'm on the Pat deserves another one.
Okay.
As of right now, we'll see in a week or so how I
we got
feel.
2 Eagles and a Pat. I would also like to see Pat win again. I think his dynasty building is kind of the dynasty he's building through 6 seasons, 5 as a starter is ridiculous.
I mean,
because odds are if he wins this one, it probably gets Super Bowl MVP unless Kelsey has a crazy game.
Or if it's a
Kelsey can't have a crazy game without Pat being crazy. So
a defensive grind out.
That too, right.
Game-winning interception or whatever it may be. But
so he'll be sitting at like 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, probably 2 MVPs,
Five Pro
and in only
Bowls.
5 years as a starter. Like, bro,
He's pretty much
I just
already
want
put
Hurts,
together.
yeah, he could
man.
retire
Fame.
after the Super Bowl with a win and be an instant first ballot.
He could
like,
retire now and probably still be a first
he
ballot
would
Hall of
be,
Famer.
but it would be a lot cooler with the stats.
But yeah, as of right now,
go Eagles though. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I need Hurts. They tried to run my boy out before he started getting good.
You're not wrong.
no, it's because he's a black quarterback who was run first when he started.
Speaking of, wait, good segue.
Yeah.
So this is saying this is the first Super Bowl in NFL history where we have 2 black starting quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts.
It doesn't help the conspiracy theory.
I mean, I think that's pretty crazy.
the Kelsey Bowl as well.
The
brothers.
Kelsey Bowl's
Yeah.
there, yeah.
Who else?
Yeah.
There was another one.
There was one more conspiracy thing. I can't remember what it was.
Probably the referees with the Chiefs game, bro.
Well, it was people were there was the conspiracy of wanting to push the first 2 black quarterbacks, the conspiracy of pushing the Kelsey brothers the year they start a podcast together.
That's
and
a
they
damn good
talk
podcast.
about
Shout out to the
It
Kelsey
is.
brothers. That's a
Yeah,
damn
that
good
is a good
podcast.
it is fun to see because I think football is one of the most detached sports.
It's the first time ever in history,
Yeah.
that 2 brothers will face off.
Yeah, so it's again, and there's a lot of
'Cause I
narratives.
think
but
the Patriots had the McCourty brothers on the same team.
Yeah, Jason and Devin.
But yeah, that's going to be interesting. We got 2 Eagles and 2 Chiefs right now. Maybe next week. Oh, I don't know if we'll record next week.
Yeah,
We'll leave that to the end.
yeah. If we don't, maybe you'll get a maybe I'll
maybe
get like
maybe
an
Danny will
Instagram
slide
story,
something with his
Instagram
opinion.
story
Yeah, yeah.
update.
I'm
Vitor's changed his
gonna
mind.
say for Danny right now. I'm gonna go for Danny. He's picking the Chiefs. I could feel it. He's gonna he's
a
righting his
Chiefs
wrong.
fan.
He's righting his wrong.
And then
He's
at
gonna
halftime,
switch
if the
to his
Eagles are
next
up,
bandwagon.
I said the same thing. He's righting his wrong though. I can smell it. He's going Chiefs. All right, so we're gonna move in to some coaching hirings that have already happened. 2 OCs, 2 head coaches that both actually, thankfully they
got finalized.
they were today, not tomorrow, because
Yeah.
that always happens to us. So Kellen Moore, OC for the Chargers, Hackett, OC for the Jets, and then Sean Payton
Head coach of the
of
Broncos.
the Broncos, who originally wanted D'Amico Ryans, and D'Amico Ryan signs a 6-year with.
Well, there was
the
another
Texans.
report that's not that report wasn't true, and that they had been on Peyton the whole time.
That's probably
So-
just because the initial report came out that they were, and then they were sending some to their meet. Yeah,
It's
either way, they ended up with who they ended up, and I think they ended up with Sean Payton, who's a damn good.
yeah.
That's a damn good
And I
fit.
think
that was my fit from the start. That's
Well,
how
yeah.
I thought
Yep.
would fit the
And-
best, and I thought D'Amico fit the best in Houston as well.
I think with the Broncos, you have a lot of top players, you have a lot of talent all around.
Right, you're
You just
missing
need to
that
organize
veteran.
it, and I think that's what Peyton is there
Yeah,
to do, and he can
100%.
take that
He's
team
that
to the next
giant
level.
figurehead that's
Yeah.
already been there
Yeah, I
and
think
done it.
D'Amico is doing we talked about this a little bit earlier, off camera. D'Amico is going to be hired kind of to do what Saleh did in New York, bring that culture,
Mhm.
instill true culture and have this regime that is, about
Well, it's a team that's in
building.
the dumps already. Like it wasn't too long ago they were 12-4
Mhm.
and won a playoff game.
Well,
I believe.
then their star quarterback decided.
And then-
To be, yeah.
He's younger. I think he has. It's just seeing him on the sidelines. He has that kind of motivation to.
Yeah.
And the way he talks to you guys as players.
Oh, and the way the players talk about him,
talk right
too.
back to him. Yep, and he can
Yeah.
build up after injury to just bring up
Mhm.
second string, third string guys and make them look like they're first teamers on other
We
teams.
played a safety at nickel
So,
corner all season this
I
year.
think he's up to the task. I think he wanted that as well. I know you didn't want it for him, but I think
Yeah.
he wants the challenge.
I mean,
He seems like the
stay
guy who
until we
would
win.
enjoy a challenge.
I would prefer
Yes.
if he had stayed until we won. Just like
You can't turn
go
down the
out-
shmoney though,
just
So
get-
I'm more curious on the OC hirings because I know how you feel about
Yeah,
Kellen
'cause-
Moore.
No, I think you know how I feel more about Hackett than Moore. More,
thought you didn't like Kellen Moore on the Cowboys, though.
Because Hackett just had the worst offense.
yeah. Well,
with
so
the
for
Broncos.
So
me,
you're okay for Kellen Moore on?
Kellen Moore had a really good first year in Dallas,
Yep, and he was getting head coaching looks.
and then he stayed, and then 2 years in a row they weren't as great.
So I'm
I
curious.
think he has something. He clearly does have something to him, right? I think Herbert's an upgrade on Dak.
100%.
I think Eckler's an upgrade on Zeke and TP.
Yeah, because well, I mean,
Uh,
it'll be because it's not what's his freaking name? Spiller, right?
Back
And
Mhm.
Eckler, because they kind of run a 2 thing.
yeah,
Eckler
they
barely gets any
they
touches.
bring in a bunch of guys.
Unless
Dak-
he's going to actually give Eckler more rushing touches.
Yeah.
Which would be nice.
Um, I think Kellen Moore deserves a shot to be an OC, and I think this is a great place to go because it's a team, again, with good offensive players. And I don't think Herbert's going to be throwing the ball like Dak, right? Throwing it to the opponent twice a game.
The only reason I questioned it is because the last 2 years with Dallas were run heavy.
Yeah.
Is I'm curious, like, I feel like that was, again, the problem with the Chargers were these weird plays, too many run plays, like too many short yardage.
Or it was like
I was hoping to get
down.
somebody that would unleash Herbert a little bit. So maybe he'll kind of
that's
has
what
more
I
of a
was
mind
thinking,
for it.
Yeah.
I think the hire was like a plateau. Like it didn't. I
Yeah.
don't think the Chargers got any better. I think they got the same guy.
The
That's
same type of thing.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt due to that year. What, 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
In Dallas, that was Dak's best year, and it was him coming off that ankle injury, right? Or was that the season before?
I think it was.
Was he there for that start of that year too?
Yeah, he's been there for 3 years now.
Because starting point, he had a great first year as the OC for the Cowboys, and I think the Cowboys as a whole, just aside from their defense, haven't been impressed with their offense. I think coaching's been a little bit questionable all throughout. They literally lined up Zeke to get hit sticked as a pancake, and then threw it to a receiver to get hit sticked.
Agreed.
So I think it was just all a mess, and I think he's at like a last hurrah. I think he's a guy who he clearly has something because he showed it in that year in Dallas.
So you think think it has a chance to work?
I think it has a chance to work, but it's going to be I think he's going to be a short leash.
I need to
type
see
of
it
guy.
first. I think me and Isaac are on the same page.
Yeah.
I kind of got to see it because I feel like the style of plays he's called has kind of been what they were not needing. So we'll have to see. Isaac, what were you going to say about Nathaniel Hackett?
I just think that's a horrible. Like I just think that is somebody who I feel like took a good team and was like great expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just like pooped himself. Like straight up, like he don't deserve a job. Like I feel like we got other people who still deserve. You could have waited and got a better candidate than Nathaniel Hackett. That's how I felt about it. So I think it's like somebody to get that spot.
Yeah, I mean he does have a relationship with Salah and a couple other of the guys in that front office and coaching team staff. So I think part of that it definitely made like some sort of impact in the decision. I think taking him off of head coaching decisions is huge.
That's a good idea because he's not good with management.
Clock management and stuff like that were terrible.
I'm scared in a sense of I felt like the Jets offense was their problem. Yeah. And you hired somebody who was putting up like 15 points a game.
Like
I
think it was like 13 points something.
Yeah, it was like less than that.
And you already have kind of like a quarterback debacle going into next season as to like who you're going to be playing because Mike White looked really good.
Game couldn't work with Russell Wilson. So what you think he gonna work with Mike White? No.
And literally, actually, if you look at the Broncos the last couple games where after Hackett got fired, they looked better. They let Russ cook.
They were better.
They let Russ play his game and they looked better.
So that makes me scared for the Jets who have an incredible defense when they lock in. A lot of good youngsters over there, but I'm excited already. I'm excited for the free agency coming because that's right around the corner. Basically, what is that? Right as soon as the game's over, isn't it? Maybe a week or two.
It's a week,
but it's not too long after Super Bowl because I know there's a pretty decent amount of running backs on the board, decent amount of players in general.
We didn't list this, but I've been seeing a lot of this. Bears should be going after a quarter or a running back type of thing.
There was news that they were going to think about re-signing Monty because they like the dynamic with him and Herbert.
Yeah, and I think if you move Khalil more to a starting role where he gets to get a majority of the touches, or at least
move Monty into that power back role.
Zeke role.
Right. Because Khalil's too dynamic.
Because I'm seeing people every day. I see a new post about the Bears, how they should go after Saquon, and I'm like, of all the positions that the Bears are lacking, I feel like running back isn't the top of that list.
That'd be nice though.
Yeah, but I don't know. As a neutral fan, I feel like that's a very
depending on the price, I'd be cool with it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's definitely an upgrade.
I mean, you're talking about the top 5 running back.
So I'd be ecstatic. I'd be surprised if Saquon left though. But I think they might throw a bag at him.
That team has decisions.
I think they might throw a bag at him.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll get into that more probably in our episode after the Super Bowl or right before free agency.
Start throwing around some opinions at it. Yeah, I'm excited for that. So I think that kind of wraps up NFL in general. There wasn't too much to talk about. We kind of laid into the only thing the recaps a little bit.
Yeah, it was
the Super Bowl coming up.
What's next for the Niners, and effectively it's If the guy, I was telling my friend and I have been talking about this for months because the Brady talk has been happening for years for us. It hasn't just been like
I don't like
this season. I like it more now that we don't know if any of our quarterbacks are going to be ready.
Well, I know who would be ready.
There's no guarantee that
I know
Trey
who
is
would
going to
be
be
ready.
and there's no guarantee that Brock's going to be ready. So
Jimmy G is ready next week.
Yeah, he's
boy.
ready. He's ready to go be
Jimmy
Nathaniel
G's ready to play the Super Bowl.
He's ready to be Nathaniel Hackett's best friend in New York.
Now you
so I like the idea of Brady more, but we'll see how that goes. I think that's gonna be one of those long drawn out, like every day.
Brock 6 months, depending on.
It puts him at mid to late training camp.
Yeah,
considering we were supposed to have a quarterback battle during camp, it kind of
throws... y'all are used to starting off like shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And then once you get everything going, I feel like
it's interesting. Like I said, my thing is if the guys are ready to play, we stick with what we got. But if in the chance that they're not, right? Because again, Trey broke his ankle and had torn ligaments, 2 surgeries. His timeline puts him on track, but there's a difference between like you're medically cleared to play and you can actually go out there and play football.
Well, yeah, usually they say
we'll
9 to 12 months is usually like actually like 24 months to be fully.
Yeah,
so like it usually takes like 2 years to be fully.
The confidence thing, I think, is
fully
the biggest
recovered,
thing, right? Like the mental aspect of like we saw it with Dak. Dak wasn't running when he came back from his ankle injury. And I think that's part of his game is that he's able to break out and get those first downs, and so we'll see. I think this
draft a quarterback though, like in one of these late rounds. Just to stay relevant.
Maybe
to game manage.
It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, honestly.
If they're coming back in like week 2, sure.
Unless old boy pans out again and you're looking at 3 stars.
We draft someone in the 6th round and he turns out to be
looking at 3
stars. In the draft.
That'd be crazy. I don't know. I'm excited to see how that pans out because that is something that
I think for neutrals,
dude, there's a lot entertaining. Dude, I mean, I get fully entertained in general watching you guys because especially this year, you all are so good, so fun to watch. And I hear about it all the time from you anyways. So it's like I kind of get drawn in no matter what. And we were so bad that it was like
I need to find a team.
I was watching Bills and Niners games all year. So yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping we get the battle because I'm excited to see what you guys do.
Yeah.
With who loses the battle. So that's what I would have to
apparently say. There was a report today that the Niners are going to trade Trey.
But now you can't do that because you don't know.
Yeah, you get the guy's value is already lower than what we traded up for him.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Again, like I talked about it, however
you're trying to get something back that you gave up for him or for McCaffrey, like something back.
Someone's got to take a risk if they want Trey, and we're only getting rid of him if we're.
I almost feel like somebody would want Brock more.
Well, probably, but that's not going to happen because he makes like $500K.
All righty. So, NFL, finito.
Yeah.
Might be 2 weeks, maybe right after the Super Bowl till we talk about it.
Yeah.
So, next up, NBA. And I know you were trying to talk about this last week.
Love this.
But I'm actually happy Isaac's back because I think y'all two really chopped it up well. We were talking about what they should do.
If they wanted to compete.
So now this is kind of what's going on. What should they do? So right now we're talking about, in case y'all haven't kind of read in between the lines there, the Toronto Raptors sitting at 23-29. Definitely have not had the season that I think a lot of people were expecting them to with the talented starting 5 they have, a lot of length, a lot of versatility. And it seems to be frustration kind of brewing. Isaac was pointing out that a lot of that seems to be directed at Nick Nurse. And I guess the question is is it right to blame Nick Nurse? Or, is there something maybe written in the stars that kind of saved their season, maybe push them into a playoff series? Because once you get into the playoffs, I think Siakam's a guy who kind of thrives in that half court.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
Just kind of curious where you guys are at on that. Isaac, you posed the question. Let me kind of pick your brain at it.
So I got like 2 sides of it a little bit. So
okay,
the one side of me is like blow it up because I just think it fizzled out at this point.
Yeah,
because I think they tried to make some moves like the Otto Porter Jr. move. It didn't work out, and I think that was done. And it's kind of funny. Like he was hurt all these other places, go to State, stays healthy, gets a ring, and then goes to a new place. to get
Bro,
the
he's
best and gets hurt again.
So
I will
Those-
never forget
he's
that,
so
man.
annoying.
He was hurt on the Bulls, and his every other day he was at the club. Talk
That's
about
what I'm
hurt,
saying.
bro.
So
Your foot
So,
hurts so much you can go clubbing every other night. Come on.
and then on top of that, the bench is a bad thing. And I think they're in that playing, like, and I sad to say they're in there playing with my Phoenix Suns. It's like a
yeah,
great starting five,
bench
but
is
where
weak,
is
though.
where is your bench? And
Yeah.
that's why I think when you try to blame Nick Nurse, a lot of the blame is because he's running these guys into the ground, but there's no depth.
Yeah.
The only way I think you can save this team is to build on this depth, but at what cost? Because a lot of people looking up. I talk about it later. I ain't even get into my little picks about my trades and stuff, but they got some pieces that could be moved, and they could make some moves into the draft. So,
well, and they have offseason questions as well if they decide to not move the pieces. I think Trent's a free agent, and Fred has a player option.
yep.
Who's in a down year though?
Well, he's been bounced back. He started.
Recently,
he's back up to his
but
similar.
comparative to last year.
Yeah,
though.
well, recent like his last month numbers are looking more like last year and the year before that. It's just he's started off real slow. But again, he's what 29 years old. Siakam's 28, 29.
Yeah.
So
Siakam, I think, is 29.
They do have decisions to make going forward. I don't know if you guys saw this. So OG got hurt against the Warriors. I don't know if anyone saw the play. Went up for a dunk to Michael Green, got the block, and then followed through and kind of caught him on the elbow and pushed him over, and he fell on his wrist. Sprained his wrist. Didn't look too major. Ruled him out for the game or two, and then it was said that he was ruled out through the rest of the road trip, which continues through Sunday in Memphis. And the reporter asked Nick Nurse about OG being ruled out through the whole road trip, and he goes, "Oh, I didn't know that."
Oh,
so the front office clearly is looking at like, okay, it's either a protect our player, let him rest because we know Nick Nurse will throw him back into 38 minutes a game if we let him play, or it's let's protect our most valuable trade piece, or that we're at least that we're willing to part ways with.
Right. There you go.
So I think that says a lot about what the front office and Nick Nurse, where they're at.
Seems a bit conflicting.
Yeah, and I think the issue is Nick Nurse is a really good coach for a contending team, but the Raptors are in this state where they have a starting five that can
contended already.
Yeah, the starting five can at least compete, but they don't have the depth necessary, and Nick Nurse is not a development coach. I don't think he's the type of coach who can get young guys or like role players to really take that step that makes them key contributors. I just think he needs guys.
That Eric Spoelstra
I take that. I give him a little bit because Gary Trent Jr. was on the fringe of being something, and it could have went either way before he left Portland. But Nick Nurse has found a way to elevate Gary Trent Jr.
But how much of that is the fact that they don't have anyone else that can do what he does, right? And he just forced to play the minutes, and then that run got him. Right, because it's playing time, right? The starters are getting 36 plus minutes a game, all of them. So I think except no, all of them are getting like 36 plus minutes a game. I think Siakam's closer to 39. He's at 38 a game. I think OG's around 36, 37 a game.
38.
Yeah, so it's you have to give guys opportunities if they want to develop, right? And as Bulls fans have kind of been in that situation of like, if we want to compete, do we play our best guys? But we have a bunch of guys who need time and touches to develop. It's all conflicting. And now we and the Raptors are sitting 10 and 12. So, but I think they've got probably the worst situation to be in right now. And personally, if it was me in charge, I'm looking at dealing the older guys rather than the younger guys as they are leaning towards, in my opinion. I think right now what you can get for Siakam, especially to a contending team who needs that second guy,
bro, he would be.
I brought this up last week after we stopped recording. I want him in Dallas,
dude. Oh my!
I think him and Luka could play well together. Bro, he would give them.
That would be.
I ain't gonna lie. If
that
Dallas
would be
find
so
a way,
menacing.
That to me, that shifts Dallas into the conversation.
That is so menacing to me.
So
two guys that can operate in that half court like that.
But the returns you're gonna get for OG and Gary Trent aren't gonna make you contenders anytime soon.
No.
But but you could build with it. Because I'll be honest with you, with a guy like an OG, people, that's your prototype. Like ain't nobody, to me, in my opinion, is a true 3-and-D guy.
Yeah,
that is OG Anunoby.
Well, and even when he was
hungry and
thrust into that like second option role when Fred was struggling in and out of the lineup, Gary
moving,
Trent was hurt and struggling as well. He was averaging 21 points a game for the first like month and a
moving.
half or two of the season. He was legitimately their second best player behind Pascal, who at the time was putting up all NBA numbers.
Yep.
He's fallen off a little bit. I think the minutes and all that, all the time he has to spend on the court really catching up to him. But like I said, I think it makes more sense for them keep the younger, the 25-year-olds that I think Gary Trent is undervalued, right? I brought him up in our underrated conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He's
yeah.
He can play defense solidly. He's great at reading the passing lanes and poking balls loose. Good shooter. Cool. So like he's a good player you can build around. OG, there's 30 teams in the league that want OG.
Okay.
Because he's perfect for everyone, right? 3 and D. So why not trade these older guys who you're not going to be contending anytime soon anyway and move towards building a contender in 3 years or so?
Because in order to do that, I think you still gonna need a star. So what is the point of losing a star to go build around somebody who's not a star? That's think fair. Gary Trent thrives off who surrounds him. Like he'd be a great piece to like LA or something because he gets to do the same thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
So, but you put him on like the Magic, I don't think you get the same Gary Trent. I think you're gonna have a great fluctuation of games. He'll get a great lot, like you just said, he gets a good volume, but like it's a fluctuation right there. He had games where he got 40, but then got games where he got 12 because he's not accustomed to that.
Yeah, and because he finished the game 4 of 17.
I think if it's any old guy you want to move from, it's like a Fred VanVleet. I paid you. The game ain't elevated since we paid you in a sense.
And he's looking for more in the offseason. He's looking to near 30-ish.
I think that's a guy you look to move, but like you keep a Siakam, like because you're not gonna get another Siakam. I need to run that out. You could build around that, and then the OG thing, you might be able to get some pieces, but I think you can get some picks that's coming up in the draft, depending on how. But also, like we just said, Nick Nurse doesn't develop talent, so it's gonna be kind of hard.
Yeah, I think they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and that's why the whole league is
sad too because I feel like they're so close.
They're so close, but so far. They need 2 or 3.
But that's where that bench depth comes in. You don't have enough bench depth to either push you or to trade that bench depth to try and upgrade.
Yeah, like Thaddeus Young fell off the face of the earth.
Woo! I missed him. He was
Otto Porter Jr. then fleeced the bag like a Russell Wilson in a sense.
Bastard.
Like they running Malachi Flynn 14 minutes a game. Gang used to hoop, but like I know I was talking about a little bit, but Gang only averaging 5 points for 14 minutes.
SDSU legend right there.
Right.
Okay. And like after
like
that
for us.
And after that, you had nothing else from nobody else on that bench. Like that's not a bench. Like,
they got Precious. I think that's probably their best player off the bench.
He's solid though.
Again, solid rotation power forward. I wouldn't put him in the same category as OG. I think
Precious like a backup OG in a sense.
Yeah, like he's more of a 4. He has like some skills, but he hasn't really. I don't think he's developed any of his.
He's still pretty raw,
to a
pretty like
point where you're like comfortable starting him, unless he's just a cog, right? Like if he was playing on a team with maybe a top center and other key players, he can just kind of slot in. But what they need, he doesn't truly provide. They need a center. They don't have their centers are Pascal, Scotty, and Chris Boucher, who finessed a bag, bro. I was looking at.
Bro, he was solid last year.
I was playing with.
He was so solid last year.
What are the Raptors players making? I look and Boucher's making like 12-7 this year, like 13-5 next year, then 14-2 the year after. Like,
least the bag game.
Okay, that could be what's happening.
I need to get my big ass.
They paid the wrong motherfuckers.
Go play 5 games, get hot for 5 games in the NBA, get a bag, and then don't do shit else.
All right. So with that said, we know what the Raptors kind of need. And it's somebody to get them out of that hard place.
Blow it up.
But let's talk about hypothetical fringe teams here. So sitting kind of 6 through 10 in the East, we got Heat, Knicks, Hawks, Wizards, Bulls. I mean, realistically, you go down Pacers, Raptors, all the way to 12 are all within 6 games of each other. Like that's close over there. And then if you go into the West, it's honestly 5 through 12 are within 3.5 games all the way to 13. Yeah. 5 seed through 13. You could even say the 4 seed. through the 13 seed are 4 games from each other.
The 3 and 4 seed are only separated.
So like
by 2
technically
games
all
as
these teams
well.
are fringe teams, but Isaac, you kind of posed a question. What fringe team were you looking at the most? I mean, I know a lot of us, we have the Warriors and the Mavericks in there. We expect them to finish top 6, but I think we're talking more or less like Jazz, Timberwolves, Trailblazers even.
Yeah.
You can go into like Hawks, Wizards, Bulls. Like who are you thinking?
It's them. I ain't gonna lie, them Lakers.
Yes. You took it, but I'm okay with that.
I'm
ready.
There.
I can feel the resurgence. I don't know why I'm so happy about it. I'm a big Brian.
I don't know what the hell Anthony Davis got to do to stay healthy, gang. I ain't never seen a man come back and then like 3 minutes. It's too early to be true, man. I was like, you ain't just roll your ankle that fast.
Yeah,
like,
bro,
not tonight.
He's so good.
So
He's
good.
wear ankle braces, man. Why won't he wear an ankle brace?
I'm telling you, bro.
They just a couple pieces.
I might go top 5 in the league when he's healthy.
Oh, especially when you consider his impact.
2 ways. Yeah, I might go. I would push top 5 in the league when he's healthy.
The first game he came back, he came off the bench, and the defense when he came
20 minutes.
Not even that. It's when the defense when he came off the bench.
What was his plus minus that game?
They got stops on the first 4 or 5 possessions in a row that he came off the bench. It was this first game.
They're not going to show it. Damn, dude. 21 and 26 minutes. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. They definitely the Lakers, I think we all know, like they have a few key things that they need.
Right.
Specifically, they need shooting.
So what do we think they need to do then?
I think
get a shooter.
Get a shooter. I think you go get a Gary Trent.
There it is. That's what I'm really happy you said that in the Raptors segment.
Like you need to attack somebody. Attack one of these teams that's in this dead zone.
Purgatory,
like,
yeah.
We're good. We can be good, but we also we suck too, in a sense. Like we just there, like the Bulls,
yeah,
and the rest of them, So I think you go get a piece like that. You don't get a Gary Trent. I go get shit. Go get Bojan Bogdanovic. That man wasting his time in Detroit getting a bucket right now.
Can you name any more shooters? 3, 4, 5.
Buddy Hield, considering
literally any freaking
shooter.
1 in 10.
Somebody better than Rui Hachimura. Somebody that can actually shoot the ball consistently.
Well, you needed the body.
Post was funny.
Right, but they need a shooter really bad.
Yeah,
they need a shooter really bad, man.
See, I'm glad I'm back this week because I wanted to chime in on that Rui thing. Like to me, I think the Rui trade was a great trade in a sense. Why? You need bodies. You didn't have enough forward bodies that could produce, in my sense. So like you added a nice little piece that could actually build, and you could put him in little small different lineups, and he could produce. He'll get hot a little bit. He'll get there. He can score in the mid range, and he can shoot the 3. He still got to play off the best player in the world, which is LeBron James. So that's a distraction. So he almost could feel like an Andrew Wiggins.
Makes you better.
Oh yeah, he can also turn into that little Andrew Wiggins role for LeBron and them. So like he can do that for them. But if you go get a shooter and you put that in there. And don't you damn let go of Westbrook because the way he's been playing for you off the bench, in my opinion.
I think the only way you can get rid of Westbrook is if you're getting an actual star player in the.
I would keep him right now.
Fuck Dennis Schroeder.
He was good for them in a few other
games.
He
was, but if we're talking about trading somebody for a good piece, bye, Dennis. I'm sorry.
I think him and Pat Bev are both kind of
Bev.
Bev. No, take that back. Bev got to go, gang.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's
what?
Bev got to go.
Both of them is redundant. You don't need both those guards on your team.
That's true.
They're both. Yeah. I think one gives you better defense. One gives you better offense.
They're both
inconsistent. I think you can do with when your primary ball handler is LeBron. Your secondary ball handler is Russell Westbrook, right? Like if you're trying to compete, these guys are going to be playing heavy minutes.
Up, shoot a little bit more.
Yeah. So the
I like the moves. I like the moves Isaac said. Gary Trent or Buddy Hield would be crazy for them.
Yeah,
I think
Hield went from unavailable to having a chance to be available, considering their slide.
Right.
I still think it's going to be tough. I think the asking price for Buddy Hield is higher than Gary Trent. I mean, that's probably the second best shooter in the league right now.
Right.
Just considering Clay's inconsistencies. But yeah, I mean, they're not too far off if they can stay healthy. But I think that's one of the biggest.
Bro, I'm telling you, I've been saying it all season. If he can stay healthy, I think they can get 7 through 10 and push into a submarine team.
And for me, like Gary Trent, the ideal thing, but that Bohan Bogdanovic is going to be another key thing for me. That's why, because that's another guy who can go create on his own, but also shoot the catch and shoot. So like you have another scorer that can be there when AD not there, instead of Russ relying on like Russ with the bench and then LeBron shit the entire damn game. Like,
and it's experience too. He's been in constant playoff series year after year, so that would be a really good move
in the West,
right?
So like,
I like that too. Actually, that might honestly be the best. I think Gary Trent would be better as in like youth, but he might be there for.
Well, yeah, and Gary Trent does come with more defense as well, which could be beneficial. I think the Lakers, especially if AD is not on the floor, whether it be bench or injured, their defense is their biggest, is a big struggle.
That would be crazy.
Because then you get a guy who can knock down shots and play defense.
All about that, man. Duncan Robinson.
Well, I think
that's another one. He's got a big contract though, doesn't he?
It's like 20-ish a year. I mean, Buddy Hield makes 17, 18 a year. Trent right now.
I feel like you got to try to save as much as you can when you're paying Westbrook.
Yeah, and the thing is too with Duncan Robinson is he's giving you negative defense.
Correct.
You know, Gary Trent and
if he's not hitting threes, he's riding the bench.
Yeah, Gary Trent and Buddy Hield both can play defense.
And same with
Bojan's not a good defender, but he's at least a bigger body and he's experienced. He understands.
Like you could then go AD, you could go Rui, you could go Bojan, you could go.
He can hold his own on some nights.
You
could with him you could go to a big lineup though.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't tell him to go stand in front of anyone, but as part of the team defense, I think he can play
you could go with a tall ass lineup if you had him and AD and LeBron and Rui.
Yeah, you can have your shortest player be
That's
Westbrook.
A big ass lineup.
Right.
And Westbrook plays bigger than 6'3" anyway. So
because he's so big and strong, yeah, I think what are you thinking of?
My fringe team, and I think Gary Trent is also a really good fit on this team. And we talked about him before, but it's the Miami Heat. They have an elite defense, and they have the worst offense in the league by points per game.
But I think don't they have the best bench scoring though still?
I don't like it.
The Heat are so close, but so far. They need offense so bad, and we talked about Duncan Robinson.
The offseason.
Yeah, we talked about Duncan Robinson.
As soon as they missed out on D Mitch, it was like they're gonna need offense badly.
Depot has been playing better, but they need shooting, they need scoring. And so I think they're a team they're positioned to go either way, and they need the offensive push bad.
See, in my opinion, my defense, this is a team that should go get another Raptors guard, not a Gary Trent.
You go get Fred.
You go get Fred. Why you go get Fred? Fred is the guy who will score off the dribble
and replace Kyle Lowry.
Just send Kyle Lowry's ass back to
and run your offense a lot better, because I still think that team is ran better with Gabe Vincent on the floor.
No, I agree with that actually.
Well, that's been floated. There's been a lot of floated trades because D'Angelo Russell is available because they don't want to re-sign him. The Clippers want either Lowry or Fred. They want a veteran who can shoot the three and run the offense.
Yeah, and that's why you look at. And that's why you don't go get a Gary Trent. You go get Gary Trent, you're going to be in the same spot. Why? Because you're still asking Jimmy Butler and all these other guys to go create, to get them over. I got a Tyler Hero.
You already got Hero. You already got Duncan Robinson. You already got Gabe Vincent.
No more of that.
Duncan Robinson's moving like a stack of gems.
I agree. I definitely think Fred VanVleet, who can create off the dribble more.
I think be a 3-tiered. I think he'd be a solid fit.
D'Lo would be nice too, because he can really change their dynamic on offense.
Yeah.
From a lot of I feel like that's a lot of Jimmy ISO and a lot of Bam down low.
A lot of two-man game between the two.
D'Lo can really get things kind of flowing for them.
Gordon.
I think he's been another unsung
because he's been so bad for a couple years.
Oh, I mean, the thing is, what he can contribute to a team that is put together, right? Mm-hmm. He's been sitting on the worst team in the league for 3 years.
Oh, Eric Gordon. I thought you said Aaron Gordon.
No, Eric.
Wow.
The
Eric.
slow release.
Never mind. I don't like that anymore.
Really?
I like Aaron Gordon. I don't like Eric.
Well, Aaron Gordon, I think, is best served where he's at. He needs Jokic finding him on his cuts.
Eric Gordon.
Eric Gordon is a veteran. He can shoot the ball.
James Harden made me hate the Rockets.
He did. I think a lot of. I think he did.
But as soon as James Harden got off the Rockets, I love James Harden again.
And you still hate the Rockets.
And I still hate the Rockets. I don't know why. It made no sense. I love James Harden at OKC. I hated him on the Rockets. I loved him since he left the Rockets. I still hate the Rockets. I don't get it. Go ahead.
But yeah, Eric Gordon. I think you talk about all these shooters. I think he's there, and he's probably cheaper than a lot of these other
100%,
guys.
yeah.
Because it's
But
not
it's
like
the
the
age,
Rockets
too.
have anything that he's there for. It's not like he's this
Real,
like
man.
super vet leader either. He's kind of
Oh,
he's
bro,
been very outspoken
talk about finessing.
the lack of leadership as a whole that the Rockets have, and just kind of the mess they're in. He don't want to be there. So
Yeah.
He would fit. I feel like he'd fit really good with the grit kind of in Miami too.
yeah, he's definitely got that like chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
He's
right.
he's not afraid to get dirty.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the teams that are on that fringe are really looking for like a shooter or a scorer that can put them over. And then you have teams. The Knicks are interested in like OG. Don't know if that's the Knicks are confusing. I don't know. One day they look like a playoff team. The next day they look like they shouldn't be in the play-in. I don't know.
It's that bench, man.
Well,
Don't
no,
blame
especially
my guy.
when Mitch went down, their defense has been bad without Mitchell Robinson. Who, I mean, Mitchell Robinson going down isn't anything new. Made a career out of it, getting blocks and getting hurt. So it makes sense. They're a team that could be looking at making that push, and they have first round picks to spare. They're the team most frequently linked with OG because of the fact that they have so many first rounders that they can trade. And Obi Toppin, guys like that who don't get minutes but could potentially be contributing players if given time.
True.
But I mean, Tibbs, right? So you're going from Nick Nurse to Tibbs. OG going to be sweating his ass off all for another half season if that's the case, because them 37 minutes a game ain't going down too much.
It would, because he got to compete with RJ. He ain't gonna be playing.
Well, there's some people have said that there's a chance that they move from RJ because of his inconsistencies and all that, and they extended him, so that's big money. Contracts now in the NBA are so like they are chips, right? There's very few players who are under contract who are off limits because contracts have value, and if you have a guy making 27 mil and you can make an upgrade, he gone, right?
True.
So, yeah, that's.
I mean, I had the Lakers, so I was kind of annoyed. But to be fair, I'm gonna go first next time. So, or for the next segment. But I mean, I don't know if you guys had another one. I had the Lakers. I'm pretty sure I picked the Lakers for most of the segments. I still have faith that LeBron and AD can bring them back. I think there's something the Timberwolves could maybe make a move or two.
Well, Cat's injury is a big problem for them because at this point we don't know if he's coming back. I don't know if you guys saw what he said. That I think it was about a week and a half ago now. He said that when the Timberwolves put out the original, I think 6 to 8 week timeline, that was never mentioned to him by any doctors. He never said that. No doctors he spoke to said that. So he doesn't know where that number came from, and he's nowhere near ready to return. And it's already been over 8 weeks, I'm pretty sure now.
Yeah.
So that's a situation that puts you in a pickle.
Sitting around 500 still.
They're probably going to trade D'Angelo Russell if they can find a package that at least they find okay.
That's tough after giving rid of everything.
I think the reality of their team is they should hold off and assess in the offseason and trade Cat because you can't trade Rudy after you just traded for him.
No.
And it's clear that the one center works better than two.
Yep.
And you're not going to keep $230 million a year centers and rotate them because that's just dumb.
It's just tough I feel like it's tough to pick a fringe team out this freaking.
The Jazz are interesting to me because they can go either way. I don't think they're good enough. I saw a TikTok about this and I totally agree. They're in the playoff. Well, they're in the play-in right now. But like
somebody better go get Laurie.
They look like a team that if they make the playoffs, they're getting swept handedly.
Yeah.
Like 25-30 a game.
Well, yeah, because they'll be a 7 or 8 seed playing the freaking Nuggets or Grizzlies.
So like, are they a team that should sell, or are they showing enough promise where they should stick to their guns and just build and try to make a playoff run?
I think you could maybe build, maybe lose a few games on purpose, drop a little lower, but keep everything you had. They're tough. Like I said, it's tough, man. I feel like there's a lot of teams. It's starting to kind of separate though into that top 8 we thought. Obviously, minus the Kings. We kind of probably had Trailblazers or Lakers up there. Wolves maybe. But it's kind of starting to separate into that top 8, even though it's still so close. 5 through 13. Same here. I mean,
they're not out the race though.
No, not at all.
No, the West is super competitive. The Trailblazers could win 2 games and be in 7th seed. Like it's that close. But
not as my sons get healthy. Nope.
Well, then maybe the Suns go into the 6th seed. You never know.
We
They
chase
are. They're the 6 and the 5 seed right now. And the 7.
So it's one of those. There's so many teams this year that I think are on the verge. And I brought it up last week about the play-in. Is the play-in keeping some teams, or are teams hesitating? Right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
of the play-in, because
Right.
now
That's why everything's so delayed,
Well,
because
yeah.
everyone's so close.
Yeah, if you're 12th,
It's
right?
so tight.
All you need to do is get to 10 and make
But
a run.
you have a good week, you jump up to 7.
Yeah,
You have 2 good weeks, you jump up to 5, 6.
Well, I mean, that's what some of the Clippers did. The Clippers went on a
the
5-game
Warriors
win
too.
streak
As soon as Steph came back, they went from 12th to 5th.
Yeah, the Clippers
Were, I think,
they went
9th
on
or
a
10th.
5-game
They're
win
4th.
streak before resting
Low key,
everyone.
that top 3 still untouched though. The Kings, that's so crazy.
Hangs, baby.
So we were just talking about kind of what some contenders need to make, but let's go into teams that already seem to be kind of set, and let's talk about benches. So who are we feeling has the best bench? I'm going first because I've been getting my answers stolen here. I'm snagging the Dubs. I'm going with the Golden State Warriors. I think they have a top bench. When you look at, in my opinion, whether you're starting Kevon Looney or you're starting Jordan Poole, one of them two is your 6th man, and that's a pretty damn good 6th man. Whether it's Jordan Poole, I think if Jordan Poole is a 6th man of the year candidate, but he's also been starting a lot recently.
Yeah, Steph's
They've been
put him in the starting lineup.
Right, and now that even Steph's back, they're still bringing Kevon Looney off the bench.
Yeah, and the fact that Clay rests at least once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on their back-to-backs.
So he's kind of there.
Come back in.
But I also feel like with guys like they lost GP3 going into this season and kind of picked up DiVincenzo. I feel like he's filled that role that they lost with GP3.
And he's given them more playmaking.
You've got youth from Kuminga, who's been the better of the two between him and Moody. You still have James Wiseman, who's off the injury. But like I said, I think Isaac made a good point about the Anthony Davis thing. Like once I feel like James Wiseman having this off season to kind of be healthy and to get better while he's healthy. Yeah. I think you might see a different Wiseman next year.
He's getting DNP coach decisions right now. He's healthy, but they're not playing.
Right, but again, he's healthy.
Yeah,
it takes a while to actually recoup and get
I think
ready.
His confidence in all that, considering every time he goes down to the G League, he puts up numbers, comes back and gets his ass worked in the league. So I think.
But then you have.
But his roles are
Pat Baldwin. You have who am I missing? I kind of said the 10 players already, but
JaMychal Green's
there. It is. Thank you, JaMychal Green. I knew I was missing one. That's kind of it.
Wiggins just came back from injury too. That's a reason why they were starting. But they were starting Poole or
Wiggins started your game yesterday. Yeah. Wiggins and Poole both started.
They really started Poole? Yes. Damn, that's a small ass team.
Yes, they started Dre, Wiggins, and 3 guards.
Jesus Christ.
Steph, Clay, and Poole.
Anthony Lamb's been hooping for them too. I can't lie.
I don't know. I think they have a really good combination of veterans
and I think coaching
and depth.
Steve Kerr is a really good coach
and youth.
He makes it work.
Versatility between Kuminga and Moody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're crazy. I think they're kind of starting to really get into that gear, finally getting off of that
the gear that we all hate.
That off season or that championship high, they were riding that for a little bit, but now I think they're getting hungry for another one. So I got the Warriors. I think their bench is pretty good. Pretty well run.
You got V.
I got the Memphis Grizzlies.
Gross.
I think I've been watching. What you mean?
I don't like the Grizzlies.
Really?
Dude, because they trash talk for no reason.
I mean, yeah, that
was
but as a team,
I think a strange pick for me.
They have guys, anytime somebody goes down, Bane missed a month or two, and yet they're still at 2nd seed.
Yeah, but they're a regular season team.
That's because they have a good bench. They're able to not drop off.
Doesn't show up in the playoffs
when they're healthy. They're bringing Brandon Clark off the bench, who I think starts for most teams in the league, unless they have a true.
I like Brandon Clark.
They've got Santi Aldama, he's got potential. He's got some things to work on, but I think he's a really good player. Tyus Jones is the best point guard coming off a bench in the league.
Better than Jordan Poole?
He's not a point guard.
Well, guard in general.
I said point guard.
That's very
and
specific.
Yes, he is a better.
That is hyper specific.
He is a better point guard than Russell Westbrook.
That is hyper specific.
Is he a better player? No.
A positionless league that's very hyper specific.
Russell Westbrook.
Tyus Jones as a point guard is the best backup and is the best bench point guard in the league. Is he a better player overall? No. But the way he runs the offense
I like how you ESPN worded that right there.
I had to. the way he runs the offense
guy that's averaging
is
like 8 off the bench and assists. I'd rather take Russ still.
I don't care about the numbers. I care about when I watch the team and I see what this guy can do. It's like TJ McConnell. He's one of those guys. He don't average a lot when he's coming off the bench, but he comes off the bench and he runs the offense. The team plays well because he is able to organize and orchestrate. And Tyus Jones is that plus more to me than TJ McConnell, who I'm a big fan of. Yeah, I like him.
You're gross, dude.
You're so backwards, man.
Yeah, he doesn't like Marcus Smart. That's crazy.
But then you like TJ McConnell, though. What?
It's crazy. What? I literally have said I like Marcus Smart. I just don't consider him part of the big three. No, I think
interesting.
Along with that,
I do like Tyus Jones and Brandon Clark.
Yeah, and they got guys. They just play their roles really well. I think Xavier Tillman, when he's called upon, has come backed up Steven Adams, and now that Adams is out, he's been starting. He's been playing well for them. John Conchar, you can't tell me what he does well, yet he comes in and makes an impact on games. Like, that's the thing about this team, is that like they don't got names. They don't got guys who are like, oh, this guy comes off the bench and knocks down 4 threes. The guys come in and they play good basketball, and maybe that's up to the coaching.
That's exactly where I was going to go with my counter argument that the bench isn't great. It's just a good coaching system.
It might not be great on paper, but if it plays well, that's all that matters, right?
They're a regular season team. I'm ready for them in the second round.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, it depends on who they match up with, but
they don't match up well with a lot of teams.
Yeah, there's a reason that every time one of their key players goes down, they don't miss a beat.
There's a reason they're barely 500 in the conference.
That's because they talk shit and they get
shit on.
You poke the bear and then the bear pokes you.
And there's like 7 bears. Go ahead, Isaac, because I'm excited to hear yours.
See if you called it.
I got the Clippers.
He called it.
I thought V was gonna take the Clippers, and as soon as right before we started recording, he didn't say Clippers. I was like, oh, that's gonna be Isaac's then.
That team is doo-doo, and every time Kawhi.
That was my number 2. I had Warriors, Clippers, and then I like the Nets.
Yeah, like I say deep. It's the fact that they sitting at 3, and I swear they got the 2 stars who make load management look so bad.
Bro, what was the game? What did they play like their entire bench their last game?
Dude, it was
and got blown out by like 30 or 40.
And then you got Paul George in the media like, we need to show some urgency. Where's
23-point loss to the Cavs?
Like, where's yours? Like, if they literally just had them and they can just catch their rhythm, they don't understand how talented that team could be if they just play on a night-to-night basis.
Yeah.
The fact that the bench guys that deep, all the way down to Robert Covington, that's like a good 11th guy who could perform on some
Robert Covington on most teams is a key bench player, at least. And he's
one of your first guys off the bench.
And he's sometimes DNPs, CDs for them because they just don't necessarily
when they run their full team, he barely plays.
Yeah. And they got guys like, again, Brandon Boston with 27 against Cavs in that loss.
But he didn't play that. He was a rookie last year and barely played. He
barely plays this year until these rest games.
Right, but in the rest games, he's showing you that you can rely on him come playoff time.
Yeah, at least to score and
like if PG or Kawhi goes down again, heaven forbid, like you can bring him in.
Norm's a hooper though.
Norm Powell.
Yeah. John Wall might not be there.
Man, why are they 25? They're so good.
It's really funny. I was looking at the worst offenses in the league, and I was like, the Clippers were like 3rd or 4th, and I'm like, my sister was looking at it. She was like, they're the 4th worst offense. I'm like, chill.
Every other game is the bench playing.
They're the best. They're one of the best teams in the league, and then they go out once a week and
I think you'll see it. But again, that's the thing I've been preaching for the last couple of weeks is they know that they just need to make it to the playoffs because they have 2 of the best half-court guys in the game, 2 of the best two-way guys in the game. They have that deep bench. They've got probably 2-3 guards that can go for 20-30. Like,
yeah, they're looking to move them.
They're crazy, dude. I'm so excited for this postseason.
That's gonna be the West. Is gonna be really
honestly,
fun.
I kind of want them to get like I honestly want them to match up against the Grizzlies and just shit on them.
I was gonna say I want them to match up against the Suns and shit on them.
Nah, because I don't think that's realistic because I think they'll both finish like 4 or lower. But I think the Clippers the Clippers could realistically go like 4 or 5 with the Grizzlies going 2 or 3.
I'm not
I
gonna
would like
lie.
to see
That
like a
Kings bench is
3-4
I like
Grizzlies
the
Second
Clippers
round
or like
matchup.
a 5-2.
Second rounder.
Nah, first
Oh.
round, boy. I want Grizzlies out first round.
Damn, what Grizzlies hate? I like the Grizzlies. They're
Dude,
fun
I
to
feel
watch.
like they're overrated.
They're fun to watch.
I just feel like they're overrated.
I
Yeah,
mean,
because they're a regular season
They
team.
definitely need.
They thrive in the open court.
Yeah, they definitely need
Fast-paced,
the
up and
the
down
home court
basketball.
advantage. I don't know if y'all saw the scandal of last week.
Yeah, that they're like 4 games under and 21-3 at home.
That Jaren Jackson is like an otherworldly stocks player, averages like 7 combined steals and blocks at home, and then like
That's a lot.
2 or 3 combined on the road.
That's insane.
But no, I ain't gonna lie. That Kings team was my other team though.
The Kings you had?
Yeah.
The Kings do have a lot. I think that's where a lot of
they
people
just have a
criticize them.
super well-rounded team.
That's where a lot of people criticize them come playoff time. They talk about this. They're like, come playoff time, they've got these guys like Kevin Huerter and all these like they've got a lot of guards who Harrison Barnes. They guys contribute.
Go ahead.
I'm not saying they on their level. You know who else was this well-rounded team? The San Antonio Spurs. They wasn't like dominant, you know. They
Are
weren't
you talking about like the good Spurs, like back in the day?
Yeah, they wasn't dominant.
Well,
God damn it, they was getting it done. That's what I.
They had the best power
Everybody
forward in the league.
No, I definitely think it's intimidating to play an actual absolute unit of a team.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes it's worse to play a Kings team that could be completely well-rounded 1 through 7 versus maybe a Mavericks team where
it's
if
one.
Luka doesn't go for
2,
40,
and then
if you can
let
Luka go for
Fox, a hungry Fox. You got playoff experience in Kevin Huerter. You got Malik Monk, who loved him. He's been loving playing with De'Aaron Fox now. Mm-hmm. And then you got DeMar Sabonis.
Him and Sabonis play really well off each other.
I think that team's crazy. I didn't see it coming, but they're well rounded.
They'll be interesting come playoff time. They're a team I'm very like. I really want to see how they're going to fare because
they could steal some.
Sabonis historically has not been that type of guy who does well in like these like.
But Sabonis has historically not been on great teams.
Yeah,
I mean, not that this is a great team, but it's a really well-rounded team.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do a lot right now. He could just go.
Well, I think he's doing the most by just the air. Yeah, that's the thing. I think he's doing the most just by being that key like center of that offense, just getting that ball in that high post and making things happen around him.
Yeah,
and I think it's working really well. Man's averaging like 7 assists. Like, come on.
Yeah,
he's the point guard for that team.
They're pretty crazy.
What about the Hawks are an interesting team in the East to me.
No, they do. No,
well, they try.
They're not good, but they're interesting because they have one. I think they're questioning their move to get DeJounte in the offseason.
Grizzlies and Hawks.
I think there's a chance that they move one of the guards.
Is that your NBA championship?
What?
Grizzlies and Hawks?
No, the Hawks are going to be lucky to even see the playoffs, in my opinion. But also Trey ducked Dame yesterday. I think we need to call that out. He missed the game with ankle soreness. But I don't think he misses that game if they're not playing Dame on a heater.
Facts.
I think they just said, you know what, let's just rest him because he's hurt because we don't want him guarding Dame today. Dame would have had a second 60-pointer in 2 weeks.
Before we start rambling, because I think there's a few teams
that
we can kind of chuck around and talk about their benches. I wanted to run it, or Isaac, actually, you wanted to go through kind of a fun segment of building a dominant player. Let's just kind of do this as a 3 here.
Yeah.
Just kind of run.
Whose body we want?
Whose body? I want Bron.
You getting Bron?
Yeah, I need Bron.
Wait.
Take Shaq's body.
Because I really want Bron's IQ.
Oh, give me Giannis's body.
Oh, okay, I take that. Yeah,
Giannis's body. We'll take Bron's IQ. Yeah, the length is unmatched.
I need Kyrie's handles though,
and Steph's shooting.
Yes,
we've created a monster
already. Give me. What about De'Aaron Fox quickness? Is anyone quicker? He's pretty quick from point A to point B. Right
now, I'd probably put him up there.
Yeah.
And then what about
height?
Give me Spud Webb's vert.
I was gonna say Ja's explosiveness.
Bro, no, give me Spud Webb's vert, bro.
Oh, D Rose is from like the Bulls.
Imagine Giannis if he can like give him like a 48-inch vert. Come on. Oh.
That's not fair.
I don't want to think about that.
I want to see him with like prime D Rose layup package too. Instead of barreling in like a goddamn idiot, him seeing the 2 and going, oh,
I remember when you used to be okay with the way he played.
Yeah, I can't watch it anymore.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's just too much.
I was 5 years ahead of the time.
It's just it's fun at first, but
I hated it when he first
after
started.
you watch your team get called for defensive fouls after catching elbows to the face, it just
Where were you 5 years ago when I was telling you that?
What else do we have? We got shooting, we got layup, we got a layup package, we got
I need
IQ,
KD's
handles.
length.
Well, I mean, that's Giannis's length, right? We took his body.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true. I feel like you gotta have some from KD.
KD's midi.
Could just take his midi,
Yeah.
because then you have
The best
Steph's
midi-
3-point shooting and KD's midi
With Prime D
With-
Rose layup package.
and
Man,
John
give me
Morant
Joel's
John Morant explosiveness.
Give me
You want me
Joel's
layups?
post game.
Oh my god.
Yes, facts.
It said, what can you do?
Oh
for
my
us?
God.
Yes.
Jesus
And we're not even
Christ.
talking about the defense.
And yet you're as smart as fucking LeBron.
Hey, you better
About-
get 90
what about-
or 90,
What about
20, 20.
Jason Williams? Jason
Jalen
Williams passing.
Paxton. Giannis running down the court. You just don't know.
Jesus.
There's a,
Are we
nasty.
just? I was trying to get something with Luca in there, but
I feel like Luca's one of those
he's
guys
just his
where he's
own, bro.
exactly
He's just him.
Nah, give me Luka's scoring attitude.
getting his what?
Just
His scoring
scoring.
attitude.
Scoring
His attitude.
attitude. I
Oh,
like
I'm gonna
that.
get this.
I like that.
We'll
Oh boy,
find a
taking
way.
a bathroom break.
In the
Trash.
middle of the episode.
I'm trying to think of one more. I want to
Ugh.
get one. Oh, I want to get one more.
Did we get anybody's blocking game or defense?
I mean, we could go. I mean, technically, I was thinking of defense as well, but I was like, Giannis is a pretty good defender, but you could probably get better than that.
Yep.
You want to go Jaren Jackson or anyone
Yeah, I
better?
really hate
Or
Jaren
Rudy?
Jackson.
You could just go Rudy on D. You could just give him Rudy's defensive ability.
Facts. Rudy on D. Shit, give me Gary Payton on defense, perimeter defense.
Gary Payton hustle. Pat
Oh,
Bev's hustle? Nah, I like Gary Payton hustle better.
That's Pat Bev's grit.
Oh, we're getting down to the nitty gritty.
Well,
I think that's good, honestly. And
that's
then
a nasty.
my favorite part is you're putting all of this on a 6'11", 250 pounds, slim, long dude.
who
could
could
you imagine-
dribble like Kyrie.
Did we
and shoot
did we
like
basically
stuff?
did we basically just build Victor Wembanyama?
I think so. I
I mean, we don't know his IQ or mentality yet, but I'm telling you, he might be that
Nah,
dude.
I ain't gonna lie. You might notice his mentality a little bit when Gang didn't want to sit out, and everybody like he should just sit out.
That's
wanted to-
facts. Everyone's like,
He
yeah,
wanted to-
we don't need him to play. He's
Yeah,
already number
he like-
one.
He like, no, I want.
You heard me?
What?
I was like, did we basically just build Victor Wembanyama?
Well, I came out the bathroom. I was like, y'all give him Nick Claxton's shot blocking yet?
Bro, we went with Rudy in general
Yeah.
defensive ability. Yo, also, I want a big shout out because y'all shitting on Nick Claxton.
This man's
and
been
he-
putting up 20 points a game since we
Hey,
did that
yeah, you right.
episode.
Gang wants to be a parlay.
Gang been balling all
He's
year.
averaging like 23 since
Gang
we
been
made that.
balling all
we
year.
recorded.
Yeah, Gang got me a parlay dub.
Telling you, he cold, bro. Bro cut them dreads off, and he been killing it this year. I'm telling you. Okay, last segment, and I'm actually excited for this one. But I feel like we might all have similar picks. I know I got two, maybe three I got three in the clip. So final way to end it off with the NBA. We kind of had some fun right there, building basically building Victor Wembanyama. But we're gonna kick it out. So All-Star coming up. Which NBA player do we feel like is most deserving to get their first All-Star selection? Isaac, give me one name.
If he could get back healthy, I need it. Tyrese Halliburton.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
think that would have been
easy.
everybody's.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
an easy
that
pick,
injury
and
is
I know
tough.
it's
I think
tough,
they-
but the man was cooking, man. I can't. And
I
also,
I think the
He
injury
was a
low-key
shoo-in.
helped his case.
I think he was a shoo-in. Right, but if he can't play, he can't get it.
Well, so he's looking to come back this Thursday or Friday.
There it is.
Um,
Ball out for
But
a
my
couple more
sleeper-
weeks.
since he is like almost the favorite for everybody, my sleeper though is the running away rookie of the year, Paolo Banchero.
I like it. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like
Gang
that
is a
lot.
baller.
I think
He's
I really
he's
watch-
insane. Dude, didn't they just beat the Sixers yesterday? And oh boy,
I was
he
watching
was
that game. They were
clanging with.
down like
They beat the
20, and
Celtics 3 times
Paolo
this
was
season.
in the
Bro,
groove
he was going
the
neck
entire
and neck
game.
with Joel. Like that boy don't
Not
back
backing
down.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
hand
Yeah.
down, man down, popping, hitting threes. Man had like I think he had like 30 and 9 last night.
Hey, I bowed down because you were your hands down
Yeah.
right about that boy.
Meanwhile, Jabari is
Cold
can't even hit
blooded.
an open. He's hitting the backboard off open shots.
Yeah, cold blooded. Mine, I'm liking.
I think it's a very obvious answer.
Mine, see, but the one I have that I really want to happen is tough because of how dense and very flooded the backcourt of the West is. But I was feeling De'Aaron Fox.
Yep.
I was feeling De'Aaron Fox. I think he deserves it, especially with the success.
Yeah.
I know the NBA is a success-driven league. I think with how he's kind of been the focal point of that team, he's the leader in my opinion. I think they're sitting in the 3 seed. He's putting up kind of career numbers. So, yeah, I got De'Aaron Fox. It's tough though, man, when you got Steph and
so you got Steph and Luka starting. You're gonna have
and
Ja in there.
Dame and Ja, and you can keep going. Honestly,
If Book's healthy, he
saying.
might
It's
get
voted
that spot.
it's deep. It's deep. CJ was my other one, but again,
Yeah.
he's kind of lucked out because there's 5, 6, 7 names ahead of him
Yeah, and
before
I think
you get to CJ.
And I think the obvious one that I was thinking,
I want De'Aaron.
He's gonna go. I think regardless of his record, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yes,
I think there's no chance he doesn't make it.
He'll be a reserve. I could have sworn he was going to be a starter. I'm be honest.
Yeah, I think that's.
I thought him and Steph. I'm be honest.
Yeah. I know Luka had to get it. I think if
out of run 3 guards.
Well, not because of the voting.
The
voting is dumb. The vote.
Yeah,
in general,
2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center.
Yeah, no, it's actually 2 guards and 3 2 backcourt, 3 front.
So they did at least get rid of that.
They did a few years ago, but they still have it for all NBA, which is where the whole Joel thing comes into play, where he's a top 5 player in the league, yet he's not in the top 5 team because he's the second best center, even though that's a debate.
Shea should have got it. Maybe Shea should have got it over Steph, man.
I think so too. I think Steph missed enough time to warrant him not starting at least, but fan vote.
He'll get it though. He'll definitely get it.
Shea will get it. I'm sure Ja will get it. Then you got De'Aaron, and you have Ant. Depends on where they class him.
I have another one
because that's going to be a tough one. I think they class him as a forward just to sneak him in.
I think I know where you're going. Maybe C's. Let me see.
Are you in the Eastern Conference?
Yes, I am in the Eastern Conference.
Are you in the backcourt?
Yes, I'm in the backcourt.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you in New York?
I'm not.
Okay.
Okay.
New York, or like?
I think he's with New York. I think he's going. Are you going Brunson?
Yes.
There it is.
Game changer.
I get it.
He's the most consistent thing in that team.
Culture changers.
Yeah, I do think he's enabled, but I don't think he's the best player on the team. He's enabled.
I think
Julius to be the best player, in my opinion. I think Julius has been better this year. But
I think Julius isn't better without. If you take Jalen Brunson away from Julius is trashed.
Yeah, but I don't think. I think you could give him another starting point guard that can facilitate.
I think
so. My other similar results, maybe not the same, but similar.
My other one that I had was I think Malcolm Brogdon's a shout.
Really?
I mean, he's been a big piece for the Celtics.
I think the Celtics have had like this revolving.
They have
big
too much
off the bench contributing. Derek White's been really good for them.
I don't think he's been better than that. I think Malcolm Brogdon's been phenomenal for them. I still think they'll probably look for something to just because they're a contending team.
So who got the starting spots in the East? Was it for the guards? Did they give it to? It wasn't Harden and Kyrie, was it?
Who was the other one? Was it Jaylen Brown? It was Jaylen Brown and Kyrie, wasn't it?
Did Brown get that guard spot?
I'm looking right now.
Or was it? No, it was D. Mitch. It was D.
Mitchell, yes.
It was D. Mitch.
Yeah, so it's Mitch, Kyrie.
D. Mitch
and they got Jason Tatum at the 3.
Yeah.
D. Mitch and Kyrie.
You got Harden.
I was like, it definitely wasn't Jaylen Brown, but Jaylen Brown could have been a shout, to be honest.
He was close, I'm pretty sure.
He could have been a shout, too.
But yeah, you're gonna have Harden, you're gonna have Brown. I don't know what they're gonna class Brown as, a forward or a guard.
No, I like the Jalen Brunson pick actually a lot.
I think if I had to pick
I was trying to throw like a sleeper in there.
It's so because like Randall has been the better player, but again, does he do it without Brunson? Does that make Brunson's all-star case better? Well, look at 2 years ago. He didn't have Brunson then either.
But he was in a contract year.
Yeah, well, fair.
So he actually had motivation.
I
He
was,
had
I
no
was explaining
motivation
this
last
to
year.
my parents. I was explaining the contract year thing to my parents.
It's not just a phenomenon; it's a real thing.
It is
a real thing.
It is a phenomenon that is incredible to watch.
I think the most realistic ones though would be SGA.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Ant makes it. I think
Ant does have it. Ant started really inconsistent, but he has been very consistent the last. Yes, literally. That's the last 2 months since Cat went out.
6 and 5.
He's been very consistent.
And
I agree with that. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's gonna be. This is
there is a correlation.
The first time where I'm looking and I'm like, there's a lot of guys who I legitimately think are gonna get snubbed.
Oh God, yeah.
Every time, like, it's crazy too because we're gonna have a guy who's averaging 27 and 10 not make the All-Star team most likely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, considering like that too. Well,
it's a down year for Trae Young. If you put his stats on another player, he's a shooter.
Right. But the thing with that is because Trae's already done more than that. Like that's a down year. No one wants to see, regardless of the numbers being 27 and 10, but he's capable of doing almost 30.
He's doing 27 and 10, shooting like 30% from the from 3-point. He's having his worst shooting year.
So I mean,
but yeah,
it's tough though because the limited roster spots. I know we talked about that before, of adding maybe a spot or two to get some guys eligible for some bonuses and stuff. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. KD is gonna allow somebody to probably start.
Well, he not wants to be able to play.
He wants to play the All-Star game.
He wants to come back before the game so he can play in the All-Star game.
Damn, I love KD, man.
Okay,
He's such a hooper. Because I didn't know if he would give it to because Joel missed out on it, didn't he?
Yeah, Joel missed.
Because it's Giannis, Tatum, and KD.
Yeah.
So Joel missed out on starting. So I didn't know if
I get
KD would let Joel start.
On the best team, but Joel individually has been a better season.
Who's the best player on the best team?
Tatum.
Oh, I thought you were talking about KD.
No,
Tatum deserves to start.
Tatum's the best.
Y'all gonna stop disrespecting Jason Tatum.
I'm saying that Embiid is individually having a better season than Tatum. That is all I'm saying. Team record and all that
things at a better rate.
Dude,
That's
Embiid
all.
He's still not MVP though.
The craziest thing is I talked about how Embiid.
Stop disrespecting. We ain't finna do this tonight.
He might have missed
the Don, boy. The Don.
Dude, he might have missed. 47. I said he might have missed his one chance, and he's low key playing better than last year.
47.
Yeah. Oh, he is right around the same numbers as last year, but he'll probably finish better. Or he's better right now, isn't he? He's at like 30, 31.
He's averaging more points for sure. I don't know if I think his sister down, but that's also Harden's.
Specs has averaging isn't he the leader?
Harden, yes.
I'm giving it to Luka still.
Right now, the thing is,
I know this wasn't a segment.
That Sixers Nuggets game.
I know I poked the bear.
That Sixers Nuggets game made things real interesting because Embiid had that boy.
But
shaking.
The next day, Luka put up 50.
Yeah, but
what are you talking about?
Jokic was the favorite. Jokic was probably still the favorite.
To be fair, it was 50 on the Pistons, but it was 50.
But also, too, it's the same. There was a factor to that for Luka, just like how the Suns got the trash talking Luka.
Bro, do not. Why does everybody do that? Why does everybody do that?
Like, I was like, I don't think I understand. Did y'all watch that man in that 7-game series?
At what point are they gonna freaking stop doing that? People need to learn.
There's some players that you want to get in their heads.
I'm a chirp too.
Yeah, he's not one of them.
Yeah, there's players you want to get in their heads and you want to get them playing angry because they're gonna get frustrated and they're not gonna be good. There's some players.
Dude, I just love him. I love him.
Murder you.
I love him just crossing you up, dribble, step back three, and then laughing in your fucking face. That's my favorite part about him.
Did you see it though at the end of the game with the Pistons? They were face to face. He
Isaiah Livers came up talking.
Starts laughing. I'm like,
he's so cold, bro. He needs an MVP. I'm sorry. So does Joel, but
this is MVP is going to be
legacy here.
The most annoying award race for the next few years because we got 5-6 guys who could be legitimately deserving it.
Inflated because the games they're.
But it's not even just the stats too; it's impact. Like you look, Jokic has great stats. His impact is incredible.
No, I think
it's impact on the defensive end isn't quantified.
Giannis is still in there every year too.
Yeah, I mean,
Giannis might be close to the favorite.
He started off rough, but he's really picked up the last month-ish.
And they're dominant too.
Yeah, they're
going to be insane. I'm excited to see that, but I think for the episode's sake, before we ramble awards now,
we could legit go through this.
Well, I mean, because I feel like me and you have Luka, Danny probably has Tatum. I know you got
you got
Joel. So
blindly throw it. I feel like a bride at a wedding. I could throw that MVP trophy.
Yeah,
behind
it
me,
could land
and
in anyone's
if he
hands. I'd be
catches it,
happy.
Jokic catches it, okay. If Luka catches it, if I'm okay. I'm like
Giannis in the third. Honestly, I wouldn't be too mad about it. Then he's entering rare air.
I think he's just a tad. I think the top 3 for me right now are Luka, Jokic, and Embiid. Then there's a small gap, Tatum, and then that's a thing. We still have half a season to go.
That's what I'm saying.
That boy's entering rare air if he pops the third one off.
That's what I'm saying. And then on top of that, Jason Tatum, I think it's gonna be him in a sense. I want Embiid, but it's gonna be Tatum.
Boston media does have a big role in sports
because Luka don't get no more help.
They might call the record against
right, but if he doesn't get more help and they finish,
Luka's gonna fall to the Embiid trap of last year.
Yeah, but the Nuggets finished what, 5th? And they gave it to Jokic.
They finished.
But is Luka averaging
But they had the same record as the.
Yeah, he's averaging 33, 34, 8 and 8, 9 and 9.
That's not a triple double though.
Yeah.
Okay. Because he's not a giant center.
He's right. He's right though.
That averages 13.
It's gonna matter.
It's not matter.
It's too close right now.
Embiid outscored Jokic last year still.
But it was only by like a point or two.
And they had the same record. So that was out of the division.
It's in a stronger East though. Or a stronger West though.
Yeah.
I like it, but no.
It's gonna be
give it to Luka, man.
Spicy.
All right. We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, I like the bridesmaid analogy. I like the bride.
That was good.
Throw the trophy, someone catch it.
Put like top 5 of them hoes back there. So
Seth just jumped over all of them. Like, all right, this mine.
No, you gotta stop.
5-way co-MVP.
So I'm gonna do my best Danny impersonation for y'all today. Thank y'all for tuning in. This has been the We Got Action podcast. This episode 37 covered a lot of NBA and NFL topics as usual. Make sure you guys go and follow us all on all of our socials. Again, Danny did sit out tonight to kind of continue to work and grind on all of that for us. He's doing a great job, man. We had a video hit close to 12,000 views. A lot of stuff consistently hitting around 2,500 to 3,000 views. So we're really starting to kind of gain a little tread. You know, we've only been at this not even 7-8 months, so we haven't even been a year yet. Starting to get followers day by day. So yeah, we really love,
and we're getting hate comments, baby. That means we're making it.
Yeah, facts. Yeah we got to start. Don't be logging in and responding to those.
Oh no, bro, I can't.
So yeah, so keep leaving comments, keep showing love, keep following, keep doing all that jazz, man. We're gonna be here for y'all. We're grinding. Stay tuned. Episode 38. Possible off week next week. Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted.
You'll see the events of the NBA week.
Correct.
Deadline
if we can, I think we might be able to record an hour or something NBA talk.
We could literally do a trade deadline special.
But we'll keep y'all posted on that. But anything else for you guys?
Shout out to Dan, man.
Yeah,
you're a grinder, buddy.
We love you, Danny.
Love you, Dan. You've been grinding, buddy. Love you. Come back.
All right, y'all. Peace out.